Is it necessary to have a concrete outcome in mind when doing an Anushthan for Gayatri Sadhana? No, it's not necessary. You can take any sankalpa. You can simply say that I'm doing it for your grace, Mother Divine, which is something I used to do whenever I did a Purushcharan. तर्पण की संख्या यज्ञ की आहुतियों का एक दशांश होगी. यदि हवन ना किया जाए और उसकी जगह दुगना जब किया जाए तब तर्पण की संख्या क्या होगी? दुगनी. क्योंकि आपने यज्ञ का दशांश तर्पण लेना है, तर्पण का दशांश मार्जन लेना है. गायत्री मंत्र ब्रह्मा विशिष्ट और विश्वामित्र द्वारा श्रापित है और शाप विमोचन के मंत्र पुस्तक में दिए गए हैं, परंतु आपने मंत्र संस्कार को ना करने की सलाह दी है. कृपया समझाएं कि क्या स्टेप नंबर 24 करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है. अगर आप पूरे विधान से कर रहे हैं तो 24वां नंबर स्टेप भी आपको करना चाहिए. संस्कार भिन्न होते हैं, शाप विमोचन अलग है. तो शाप विमोचन आप फिर भी कर सकते हैं, परंतु प्रतिदिन करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है. और यदि आप संक्षिप्त विधि से कर रहे हैं, जो हमने सुबह बताई है, वो जो स्टेप्स हैं जो काउंट किए थे उसके बाद, तो उसके अनुरूप चलना है तो करने की आवश्यकता नहीं. My family and friends think that I'm going too deep in sadhana and that this is wrong. Since we are social beings, we need to be involved in the society as well. Please guide us on how to balance sadhana in society. You want to know the truth? You cannot balance it. That's the truth. Here, I said it. You'll always be more, leaned towards one or the other. And if their definition of you being involved socially is that you must sit down with other people, have a drink, and party hard and be merry and all that, then they're simply imposing their perspective on you. A lot of people, in my observation that I've come to understand, is they are actually introverts. A lot of people actually don't like to hang out with a lot of other people. They like to be on their own, go out for a little while, and they want to be back in their own little world. But the society has unrealistic expectations from most of us, and they want us to always, plaster a smile on our face and just pretend that everything is fine and you're enjoying and all that. Most people don't actually enjoy in groups. It's okay for about, half an hour or an hour, couple of hours, or 3-4 days if it's a camp. But beyond that, it's not bearable. All those lucky ones who are here getting to stay in a room this time know exactly what I'm saying. The joy you get when you go back into your room is just unparalleled. What does it mean to meditate with the deity in your heart and how to do it? It means two things. One, at a practical level, it could mean that you meditate on the deity in your heart chakra, visualize the deity here. Or the other is just have some feelings for your deity and not a pure mechanical thing that I'm just going to chant and I'm going to draw some energy and stuff. For all that, you have meditation. When it comes to mantras, you've got to have that devotion. When we do visualization of the deity, when it comes to the face of the deity, I can never settle down at one of the faces seen in the various pictures. Please advise. Feel free to hop and eventually you will settle on something. स्वामी जी, जो गायत्री मंत्र बताया गया है, कुछ विद्वानों का कहना है कि उसमें 23 वर्ण है. 24वां वर्ण गुरु दीक्षा के समय बताया है. यही ऐसा, यदि ऐसा कृपा करके उसका निवारण करने कीजिए. ऐसा नहीं है सतेंद्र जी, 24 वर्ण ही है. जिन विद्वानों ने बताया है वो उल्लू छाप रहे हैं और कुछ नहीं कर रहे. 24 वर्ण है और पहले दिन हमने पूरे 24 वर्ण आपको बोल के दिखाए थे. समाधि लगा. समाधि लगा किसे कहते हैं? एक ज्ञान समाधि होती है, एक भाव समाधि होती है, एक योग समाधि होती है. और जो तो ज्ञान समाधि है वो कुछ कुछ रमना महर्षि की थी। वो हर समय ज्ञान के चिंतन में बैठते थे कि मैं कौन हूं, मैं वही हूं। उस भाव में वो सुखी थे। जो भाव समाधि है वो लगती थी रामकृष्ण परमहंस की। वो काली की उपासना करते थे। देवी की उपासना में एक समाधि, एक अवस्था होती है जिसमें आप मात्र एक भाव समाधि में क्या है जो भक्ति में लगती है, जो मंत्र की साधना में लगती है, आप मात्र एक भावना बनकर रह जाते हो। बस आप जैसे प्रेमावतार हो गए, बस एक ही भावना में आप बह रहे हो उस समय। और समाधि को इतना बड़ा शब्द नहीं है, कभी ना कभी सबने उसका अनुभव अवश्य किया होगा। बस समाधि वो हो जाती है जो बार बार एक योगी अपनी इच्छा से लगा सके तो वो समाधि थोड़ा स्थिर हो जाती है, और कोई अंतर नहीं है। जो योग समाधि होती है उसमें आप बस एक वाइब्रेशन बनकर रह जाते हो, एक वननेस महसूस करते हो लगातार हर चीज के साथ। और वाइब्रेशन से कहने का मेरा अर्थ ये नहीं है कि आप शेक करना शुरू कर देते हो। अभी पिछले हफ्ते की ही बात है, हमारे पास एक लेडी आई और बोलती स्वामी जी मैं फला फला योग करती हूँ। बोला बहुत अच्छा। तो उनको बहुत शेकिंग हो रही थी, बहुत शेकिंग हो रही थी। सर जैसे ही मैं, सारा दिन मेरी बॉडी ऐसे वाइब्रेट करती रहती है, बहुत शेकिंग होती है, ऐसे बहुत शेकिंग हो रही। शी वाज शेकिंग। शी सेड व्हाट डज इट मीन? आई सेड इसका मीनिंग है कि आप स्पिरिचुअली तरक्की नहीं कर रहे हो, इन्वॉल्व नहीं हो रहे हो। शी सेड सच? मैंने कहा हाँ, अगर आपकी शेकिंग बंद ना हो तो इसका मतलब आप ऊर्जा को संभाल नहीं पा रहे हो। हाँ, अगर आपकी शेकिंग बंद हो जाए तो हम मानेंगे कि आप संभाल पा रहे हो। इंस्टेंटली शी स्टॉप्ड शेकिंग। दैट वेरी मोमेंट शी स्टॉप्ड शेकिंग। दैट वेरी मोमेंट, बिफोर आई कुड ब्लिंक, she was no longer shaking. I said, this is a good sign. That means you're progressing. Because shaking is one thing. Okay, I can understand somebody shaking for a moment, few moments, a minute or a couple of minutes during their meditation or while immersed in bhakti or bhav. But if you're just shaking whole day, probably I would say please go see a neurologist or something, It's a problem I can't solve for sure. Maybe I should ask, have you been watching too much of YouTube or something and just dancing all day? What is the significance of Mahamantra Hare Rama Hare Krishna? Is it a mantra or a prayer? It's a mantra. So the significance, it's a beautiful mantra. I get overwhelmed with thoughts when I close my eyes and chant. It is a bit better when my eyes are open. What should I do? Keep them open, please. क्या सुबह शाम की एक दो माला के जप से पहले भी माला को सिद्ध करना आवश्यक है? नहीं। आप माला को साधारण जैसे प्रयोग में लाते हैं वैसे कीजिए। Would be grateful if you can repeat the meaning of 4 lines of the Gayatri mantra. Just summarizing. तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः यदि पहले लगता है, ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः, यानी कि हमारी तीनों अवस्थाओं में, हमारी स्थूल, हमारी चेतना, हमारी आत्मा, तीनों अवस्थाओं में तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम, वो परम दिव्य शक्ति, वो ईश्वर जो एकदम पूर्ण रूप से श्रेष्ठ हैं, सर्वोपरि हैं, तेजस्वी हैं, तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम, तेजोमयी हैं, प्रकाशित हैं, भासित हैं। तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि, वो एकमात्र ऐसे जिनकी आराधना की जाए, जो धारण करने लायक हैं, जो पूजा के लायक हैं। धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्, ऐसे ईश्वर की हम आराधना कर रहे हैं, पूजा कर रहे हैं, ताकि वो हमारी भावना को, हमारे मन को हमेशा गतिशील, क्रियाशील रखें, हमारे विचारों में एक शुद्धता रखें, हमको अंधकार से प्रकाश की ओर लेकर जाएं। उस ज्ञान स्वरूप ऊर्जा को, शक्ति को हमारा बारंबार नमन है। The meditation path taught by Buddha teaches us how to get something, your accumulated samskaras via meditation. How does one purify via mantra sadhana? It's the same thing. Ultimately, what's really going to help you get over your samskara are good karma. Meditation is simply to build the awareness to do the right karma when you really have to make a choice. So that at that time you don't forget. So that when sometimes somebody pushes you over the edge, you don't lash out. If you've been meditating, at that time you will remember that how I'm supposed to react in the current situation. Same with mantra sadhana, it builds humility in you, it builds focus in you, it builds discipline in you, and it purifies you. Is there a reason why we count our japa? Can we not only focus on one, chant her name? Why do we need this extra issue to burden the mind? Please don't burden your mind. You can just sit down and chant for a set period of time. It's amazing how we always overestimate our effort. Remember this. Most of us, almost all the time, overestimate the amount of effort we put into anything. If we work for 2 hours, we'll say, oh, I spent the whole day there, Did you really work on it? And I will tell you a point to make my case. I have this app that I use sometimes when I practice piano. I plug it to my digital piano, and then I'm playing. It captures time, basically. If I pressed a note, and I've kept that note pressed for a second, it's going to capture that time. So, very often I would get up and say, oh, I played like 3 hours of piano, practiced for 2 or 3 hours. Get up, look at the app, it says 40 minutes, 45 minutes. So often, we don't take into account things that we do when time we are wasting on other things while we think we are actually doing one particular thing. So you may be thinking, oh, I've sat down and meditated for an hour, or I've chanted for 60 minutes or something like that. But if you were to measure it, if you can quantify it, if you can measure it, then you know how you are progressing. And I'll give you a beautiful definition of progress, Never ever compare yourself with anybody else to measure your progress. You must compare yourself with yourself. How you were in the past and how you are now. To measure your progress in any field, we must not look up to other people. Let me take the example of piano, for example. If I go online, for example, on YouTube, there are 4 or 5-year-old children playing piano better than I can hope to play in the rest of my allotted lifespan. They're playing better than now. I could get depressed looking at them. Oh my God, look at these people. 5-6-year-old and they're playing Chopin's Etude or something, whatever. Or the other is I could look at, okay, 2 years ago I couldn't even read notes, couldn't read score, and now at least I can. And that's good enough. So you must set your own benchmark. You must compare yourself with yourself alone. That's the only way to know if you have progressed, not by measuring yourself. A lot of the times I get, young people, and they tell me, I'm going to the Himalayas, Swamiji, to do sadhana, and please bless me, and so on. I said, sure, I bless you. But I hope you know that it's not that I woke up one fine day and just went to the Himalayas. Before I took that plunge, I dabbled in it for more than 2 decades. And what I've written in my memoir, it's not even 10% of what I actually did. It's not even 5%, in fact. If I've done 50 Purush Charanas, I've not even mentioned one there. So I kept at it. Now, if you're going to compare yourself with me and feel, oh, it's just too out of league, we just can't do it, forget it, then you will never be able to do it. If you say to yourself, I can't do it, then you're right. You can. You've just said it. You believe it. You're absolutely right. There is nothing I can do there. If you say, how can I do it? Then mind will start to work and say, okay, let me come up with some answers. But how can I do something? So you must not compare yourself with me or with anybody else. You must compare yourself with yourself if you want to measure progress. How does mantra sadhana help in eradicating the ego sense of doership and all the vasanas of I? Do it and you will know. Seriously, that's the best answer I can give you. Do it, come back and tell me what you felt. स्वामी जी, भीतर जाना क्या होता है? कैसे जाया जाए? हमें क्या इमेजिन करना होता है? क्या फिर वो हमारा भ्रम नहीं होगा अगर हम कुछ इमेजिन करते हैं? तो कृपया मार्गदर्शन करें. प्रश्न सुंदर है. इनका प्रश्न है कि हम बोलते हैं अंतर्मुखी हो जाओ, भीतर चले जाओ, भीतर चले जाओ. ये है क्या भला भीतर जाना? व्हाट इज दिस भीतर जाना? एंड अगर हम कुछ कल्पना करते हैं तो क्या हम एक नया भ्रम नहीं पैदा कर रहे? वो भी तो कल्पना ही कर रहे हैं. कुछ कल्पना मत करो. भीतर जाने का अर्थ होता है वो मनुष्य जो जब सुखी हो तो अपने अंतर मन में ही ताकता है और इस बात का बोध रखता है कि ये सदा सदा के लिए नहीं है. जब मनुष्य दुखी हो तो अपने अंतर मन में ही ताकता है कि मुझे से कोई गलती हुई है, मेरा ही कोई ऐसा संस्कार है या कर्म है या वचन है मुख से निकला हुआ जिसके कारण इस समय मैं दुखी हूं. इसके लिए कोई दूसरा जिम्मेवार नहीं है. यह अंतर्मुखी होने का अर्थ है कि सुख में और दुख में मनुष्य अपने भीतर के समुद्र में ही गोता लगाकर मोती निकाल लाता है और उसी से खुश हो जाता है. वो बाहर की ओर देखने की बजाय अपने अंदर ही देखता है सब कारणों को, अपने अंदर से ही उस आनंद को खोजता है, अपने भीतर से ही वो अपने दुख को मिटाता है. यदि मनुष्य के मन में द्वेष की भावना है तो वो अपने भीतर ही देखेगा. ये नहीं सोचेगा अरे ये देखो इसने कुछ किया नहीं, धरा नहीं, कहां चढ़ के बैठा हुआ है. वो अपने अंदर देखेगा कि मैंने क्या नहीं किया कि मैं उस अवस्था को नहीं प्राप्त हो सका. दैट्स द मीनिंग ऑफ अंतर्मुखी. Why is Yoni Mudra Ma's favorite mudra? Can you please explain what does it actually convey to us esoterically? Mam Yonir Mahadda Brahma Tasmin Garbham Dadamyaham Sambhava Sarvabhuta Nam Tato Bhavati Bharata. भगवान ने बोला है पुरुष और प्रकृति में, सांख्य योग में, पुरुष is represented by upward triangle. Upward triangle is Purush and downward triangle is Prakriti. This is masculine, this is feminine. Now, in all the yantras, you will see that there is an intersection of upward facing triangles and downward facing triangles, which represents the coming together of masculine and feminine energies, which is the basis of all procreation. It's not possible without it. So Yoni Mudra is Ma's representation of the ultimate feminine energy. That's all I would like to say on this in this forum. If somebody is used to chanting during the sleep, does he get benefit of chanting in terms of the quantum of hours? If you can prove that you were chanting, I will give you the benefit. Why does Shiva symbolize destruction? Everybody likes creation and sustenance. Then why destruction is needed? Without destruction, there is no creation. I think I mentioned it in my book in Science of Mantras. This creation did not start with creation, it started with destruction. Imagine, there comes a time when your parents get really old and you get sick and tired of them. Hopefully not, but it's not uncommon to see that. Imagine they never died. Imagine their parents never died. Their parents' never died. Nobody ever died. First thing is, you're not going to get any inheritance. That means. Second is, imagine what that world would be like, where nobody dies. If nobody dies, can the world survive? Even stones die one day. So destruction is in fact the most beautiful aspect of creation. Natural destruction that happens. It just brings an order to things that have gone haywire. And when we die, we take a new body, take up a new body, and it's just chance to be, a child again, to be youthful again, to once again jump around and play and run in the fields and do many, many things that are taken away from us when we get old. Somebody wrote to me once that age is just a number, Swami. I said, I totally agree. Like your bank balance. It's just a number. Now you tell me if it matters. Of course, it's just a number, no doubt. But we have to accept it gracefully. There's some extraordinary beauty about getting old as well. You settle down a bit more and you learn to accept yourself a bit more and your circumstances a bit more. And I always feel so joyous when I see somebody young doing something meaningful with their lives. And I just feel so elated if I see somebody talented, somebody skilled, somebody in music, painting, arts, dancing, sports, even in studies, doesn't matter. I just feel so wonderful. I feel like I'm living all over again. And that's something, you're done with your own cycle of, I have to get there, be there, do that, this, that. Now you can fulfill all your dreams without actually working for them. Through all the other people. It's such an incredible feeling, and it's one of the most beautiful aspects of my vocation, that I get to meet a lot of talented people and people full of love, and I don't even know why those who love me, they love me, to be honest with you. I feel so overwhelmed. I don't know how to show my heart open to you, that how much it means to me. And that's why I like to protect as much as I can everybody who comes to me and respect them in every way I can. But I don't know what I've done to have this love, because I know for a fact I certainly don't deserve it. I haven't done anything to deserve it. So when you get old, it's just a beautiful feeling. When I see somebody driving a very nice car, I feel like I'm sitting in that car. My favorite thing is to feed people. If somebody drinks coffee, I say, please have a coffee, because it makes me feel that I've just had a coffee. And it's something like, now my life is much bigger. I can enjoy so much that I couldn't do when I was younger. And it's a divine blessing to be able to get old and be at ease with it. It's just remarkable. Do stray and negative thoughts tantamount to bad karma? If you pursue a mental thought for too long, as I wrote in my book, 1,000,000 Thoughts, then it is mental karma. Many times, people who are doing their anushtans, regular sadhana, japa, blah, 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 are more restless, angry, and unhappy. Why is the mantra and puja not helping them to become better human beings? Not everybody does that. Not every sadhak becomes more angry, restless, and unhappy. There are equal number of people who don't do mantra sadhana and are equally at unrest, unhappy, and restless, and so on, because that's the way world works. Sometimes when you forget why you're doing sadhana, it's so easy to get carried away and make that sadhana, your whole soul, rather than understanding why I'm actually sitting down and chanting. मंत्रों के 10 जीवन संस्कारों की समय रेखा का उल्लेखन करें. टाइमलाइन फॉर इन्व्यूशन ऑफ लाइफ. जीवन संस्कार या आप्यमान संस्कार में मंत्र की संख्या के पुस्तक में सुझाव नहीं है. Do it 108 times if there is nothing mentioned, or maybe if you're not getting it, then do it 1000 times. Rest, your guru will tell you. For the sadhanas that I've stated in the book, do it 108 times. Long syllable mantras like Gayatri mantra require more concentration to perform sadhana. Is there any method to do sadhana without losing focus? Start slow, gradually build your stamina. यदि एक शिष्या श्रद्धापूर्वक परम पूज्य गुरुदेव का स्मरण एवं उन्हें नमन करती हैं, तो क्या अवश्य रूप से गुरुदेव को आभास होता ही है? आप आभास कराने के लिए नमन कर रहे हैं, फिर शायद नहीं होता होगा. आप भाव प्रकट करने के लिए नमन कर रहे हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं वो अवश्य पहुंचता होगा. खाली कुछ नहीं जाता प्रकृति में. Please advise on how to choose a deity to worship or निराकार. जहां आपका मन बैठे वही श्रेष्ठ है. One mala, 101 mala, this is written in Hindustani or English. एक माला 108 टाइम्स कितने टाइम में पूरी होनी चाहिए? How many minutes? I don't know. You chant at this speed. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. You find out your speed. Meditation does not require devotion, while mantra science does. If a sadhak's primary practice is meditation and she wants to practice mantra sadhana also, can a sadhak combine meditation, non-devotion, and mantra sadhana, devotion, to realize one's true potential? Feel free to experiment. That's what I mean when I say discover your own truth. Something I scream at the end of every single video of mine. Discover your own truth with nice music. That's what I mean. That experiment, find your own mojo. You see what I mean? रोजाना मंत्र करने से पूर्व शाप विमुक्ता पाठ करना चाहिए. कर लो, बुरी बात नहीं है. Just do it 3 times, 7 times. Build it into a routine. And once you've done a Purush Charana, then you don't need. उसके बाद करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है. Thank you so much. Can one or more sadhanas mentioned in the book be done simultaneously? I would say no. In the beginning, focus on one thing at a time. The ucharan of omkar, om और अ-उमा, ओम. देखिए ऐसा है कि शब्द तो ओम है, सीधी सी बात है. अब कोई प्रसिद्ध गुरु उसको जबरदस्ती ओम कर, तो उसके मैं कुछ कर नहीं सकता. There is nothing I can do about it. शब्द ओम है. जब संधि विच्छेद किया जाता है उसमें 3 अक्षर आते हैं, अ, उ, म. अब किसी को बस आपको कंफ्यूज करना हो तो स्वामी जी के पास मत जाइएगा, मैं बता देता हूं कैसे करना है. किसी को कंफ्यूज करना हो तो आप कुछ भी बोलते रहो, ठीक है ना. जैसे सच्चिदानंद वर्ड है, मान लीजिए सत चित आनंद है, संधि होने के बाद सच्चिदानंद हो गया. अब आप क्या बोलोगे? मान लीजिए किसी का नाम है सच्चिदानंद, एक क्षण के लिए सोचिए, और भाई सच्चित आनंद तुम्हारा क्या हाल है, क्या बोलोगे? सच्चिदानंद तुम्हारा क्या हाल है. तो शब्द ओम है, जबरदस्ती उसको बाल की खाल उधेड़े जाना. अ, उ, म, 3 से वो बना है, 3 ही उसकी अवस्थाएं हैं. दिस इज द उच्चारण ऑफ ओम, वेल कर्व है। मैं इसमें ऐसा मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा। अगर आपको बात है आप कर सकते हैं, मैं रोक नहीं सकता आपको। तो ओम है। आई होप इट्स क्लियर, बिकॉज बहुत ईमेल्स भी आई हमको इस प्रश्न को लेकर, इसलिए मैंने कहा आज सेट कर ही दूं इसको। I was told by a learned scholar that the Gayatri Mantra is part of the Vedas and hence it shouldn't be chanted by women. Traditionally, the Vedas can only be chanted by men. Is it true? It's absolutely untrue. एक हमारे हुए थे मनु ऋषि, न जाने वो क्या लिख गए, कौन से रूल्स ऐसे बना गए कि वो समाज उस समाज के लिए उस समय के लिए था। कोई भी व्यक्ति जिसको भगवान ने मुख दिया है, जिह्वा दी है, जो उच्चारण कर सकता है, वो वेद को जपने का अधिकारी है। नहीं तो कृष्ण अपने आप को कीर्ति श्री वाक्च नारी नाम स्मृति मेधा धृति क्षमा, नारियों में मैं कीर्ति हूं, स्मृति हूं, क्षमा हूं इत्यादि ना बोलते। एक तरफ तो हम देवी की पूजा करते हैं और ऋग्वेद से ही शुरू हो जाती है देवी की पूजा, इतने सुंदर सुंदर सूक्त हैं उसमें देवी की पूजा। एक तरफ तो हम देवी की पूजा कर रहे हैं, दूसरी तरफ हम बोल रहे हैं कि आप हीन हो जी, आप नहीं जप सकते मंत्र। ये कहां का न्याय है और कौन से शास्त्र में लिखे, मुझे बता तो दे कोई। आज तक किसी, मैं वैसे कभी भी शास्त्रार्थ में पढ़ता नहीं, पर कभी भी किसी से भी बात हुई है, कोई आज तक मुझे यह नहीं बता पाया कि यहां लिखा है। मैं नहीं मानता मनुस्मृति को, बात करता हूं। वेदों में लिखा है क्या? वेदांगों में लिखा है क्या? कहीं नहीं लिखा। कर्म कांड में तो इतना तक आता है, अंत्येष्टि यदि पुत्र ना कर सके तो बेटी कर दे। ये भेदभाव बहुत बाद में जाके बने हैं। जब तक मनुष्य ने कृषि की खोज नहीं की थी, एग्रीकल्चर की, तब तक स्त्री और पुरुष में कोई अंतर नहीं था। परंतु जैसे ही जमीन ओनरशिप का कॉन्सेप्ट आया तो सारी सोसाइटी बदल गई, क्योंकि मनुष्य ग्रीडी होता है। ह्यूमन नेचर इज टू बी ग्रीडी। वो बोलते अब ये मेरी चीज है, ये भूमि मैंने तैयार की है, अब इस पर मेरा ही आधिपत्य रहे, मेरे बाद मेरी संतान का रहे। इसलिए पत्नी को बोला तुम घर बैठो, मैं जाके खेतों में काम करता हूं, मैं बलवान हूं ज्यादा, मैं जाके शिकार करके लाऊंगा भोजन के लिए। तो धीरे धीरे एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल जो वुमेन प्ले करती थी सोसाइटी में, एंड दिस इज नॉट फिक्शन ऑफ माई इमेजिनेशन, दिस इज अ हिस्टोरिकल फैक्ट, यू कैन रीड अपॉन इट। तो उनके रोल को डिवैल्यू कर दिया गया, क्योंकि किसी भी कंपनी में सबसे ज्यादा बुली कौन करते हैं? सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग वाले। बोलते हैं, दूसरे कुछ समझते नहीं कि हम ला रहे हैं भैया पैसा कंपनी में, हम पैसा लेके आ रहे हैं। अकाउंट्स वाले कोई इज्जत नहीं उनकी, ऑपरेशंस वाले कोई पूछता नहीं उनको। जब चीजें खराब जाती हैं बस तभी बोलते हैं अरे ये ठीक नहीं हुआ। अकाउंटेंट के हाथ पैर तब जोड़ेंगे जब ईयर एंड आ रहा है, ऑडिटिंग करनी है कि बढ़िया सी रिपोर्ट निकालो। नहीं तो वो मान के चलते हैं इनका काम है कि ये नहीं तो कोई और मिल जाएंगे। सेम विद आईटी, कोई चीज जब लैपटॉप काम नहीं करेगा तब वो फोन करेंगे कि तुम लोग किसी काम के नहीं, जब काम कर रहे हैं तो कोई पूछता नहीं। तो सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग वाले सबसे ज्यादा वैल्यूएबल होते हैं कंपनी में। जब लोग निकाले जाते हैं, सेल्स के लोग सबसे बाद में निकाले जाते हैं, क्योंकि वो डायरेक्ट पैसा लेके आ रहे हैं। तो पुरुष ने वो रोल ले लिया घर में कि धन को मैं कमा कर लेके आऊंगा। धीरे धीरे उस रोल को इतना इंपॉर्टेंट बना लिया उसने कि एक जो नारी थी उसका जो स्तर था वो द्वितीय कर दिया। पहले ऐसा नहीं था। Women used to hunt just like men. This change occurred with agriculture predominantly. और इतनी बार कृष्ण ने अर्जुन को पांडुपुत्र नहीं बोला होगा जितनी बार कौंतेय बोला है। और वृष्णि वंश जो कुंती के उससे चला रहा था, तो गोत्र भी स्त्रियों से चलते थे पहले। Why is it that Brahmapadesha is done only for boys and not girls? Because girls are brilliant by default, they don't need it. ये पहले रूल्स बस बने हुए हैं। आप एक बात सोचिए ना, priests of the olden times were all men, and sending young girls to those priests did not sit well with the society. So any of the sanskaras that were required for a girl could be done within the home without any external intervention. So if you're, for example, doing Yajnapavitan sanskar, you're going to ask a boy to bathe and come, bare top and so on. You wouldn't ask that to a girl. So just a convenience thing more than anything else, because boys used to go out and study. And they said, before you go out, there has to be some mark that you are now going to be part of a Gurukul, for example. That's just the way society was at the time. There is nothing stopping you from doing that. Maybe it's time we started that. If you look at puja, when we do any puja archana, we offer Yajnapavid even to a Devi. In Shodashopchara, Yajnapavid, the sacred thread, is offered to a Devi as well. If you could explain the meaning of Gayatri Mantra again, please. Done. एब्स्टिनेंस का महत्व क्यों है? एक गृहस्थ साधिका पुरुष चरण कैसे करे? इनका प्रश्न है कि एब्स्टिनेंस, एवरीबडी अंडरस्टैंड्स एब्स्टिनेंस. लेट्स से ब्रह्मचार्य for clarity purposes. What is the meaning of this? What is the significance of this is the question. When you do a Purushcharana, when you do a sadhana, it's training the mind. So during sadhana, all the rules are different for you. You eat a different kind of diet, you wear a different kind of clothes, you have a different routine, you get up at a different time, you go through a different day. And the idea was that everything you do in your normal life should not be done unless absolutely necessary, like working during the days of sadhana, so that you can train your mind to not be dependent on pleasures, the joy of good food and so on. That's why abstinence is important when you are doing Purushcharana or sadhana. And if you're a householder and you can't be without it, don't make that the reason to not do sadhana. Fine, you do what you've got to do, but still do your sadhana anyway. कृपया बताएं कि कवच मंत्र या संपुट मंत्र की महत्वता क्या है? कवच मंत्र देवता का कवच होता है, एक आदि दैविक, आदि भौतिक, आध्यात्मिक त्रिविधता जिसको बताया गया है, उससे मनुष्य की थोड़ी रक्षा होती है। और दूसरा क्या था? संपुट। संपुट एक मंत्र की ऊर्जा को बढ़ाने के लिए किया जाता है। जैसे हम उस दिन बता रहे थे, संपुट का अर्थ होता है ब्रैकेट। अगर बाहर ब्रैकेट के अंदर एक फिगर है, मान लीजिए लेट्स से राइट 20+2, और ब्रैकेट के बाहर मैंने लिख दिया 4, तो वो 22 जो आएगा, 20+2 विल बी मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 4, बिकम्स 88। सो सिर्फ मंत्र की ऊर्जा को बढ़ाने के लिए होता है। इस मंत्र साधना मोर सुपीरियर टू ध्यान साधना? ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। They are the same, depends what works for you. During the mantra japa, is it okay to take breaks for water or going to the toilet in between the rounds? Avoid it, But if you can, then you can't, you can't. Then you see what you're going to do. While chanting the Gayatri Mantra, is it okay to sing it? If you sing well, then... I heard this once, that I think I wrote it in my blog once. This neighbor went to his friend and he said, look, I heard you got your wife flute now. Just a week ago, you'd spent $100,000 on getting her a brand new grand piano. Now you just shifted her to this tiny flute? Why? He said, don't ask. At least she can't sing while she's playing flute. While chanting the Gayatri Mantra, is it okay to sing it, or must it be chanted the way you did yesterday? Find your own groove. Feel free. Feel free. But if you take the right pauses, because music is always in silence. Music is not about the notes we play. Music is about the gap between the notes we play. In Nitya Karma, how to do Gayatri Mantra chanting? Sorry, it's in English, but reply can be in Hindi. So kind of you. तो बस वैसे ही करना है. ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. एक माला कर सकते हैं या उससे कम कर सकते हैं. मैं पूछा कि फॉरेनर था, पूछा भैया आपके इंडिया में हेलो कैसे बोलते हैं? हेलो, दैट्स हाउ वी से. Why have they said women shouldn't chant Gayatri? Who are these people? Tell me, किसने बोला है? I don't believe this. I agree. So it's not written anywhere in the Vedas. I guarantee you, openly I challenge, and I'm taking this based on the sample. You know how they measure TRP? They take a sample of a few hundred or 1,000 homes, and based on that, that's how program is going. Based on my SRP, spiritual rating plan or whatever called, I can guarantee you 99.9999% of the gurus, Brahmins, Vedic scholars have actually not read the Vedas. If you ask them where to get the Vedas, they can't even tell you that. Seriously. And people just say शास्त्रों में लिखा है. शास्त्र कौन से शास्त्रों में लिखा है? मुझे बता तो दो. कहां लिख गया कोई ऐसा व्यक्ति? जिन्होंने वेद पढ़ा है वो ऐसी बात बोल ही नहीं सकते. Is it necessary to say mantras with mudras? Nyasa. नेसेसरी कुछ नहीं है मेरे भाई. जैसे आपका मन करे कर लीजिए. हमने आपको एक फ्रेमवर्क बताया है, उसमें जितना आप कर सकते हो कर लीजिए. Can we alternate our focus while chanting Gayatri Mantra? That is, one day we feel pull sensation on Manipur part, and on the other day on our forehead. Yes, you can. You can alternate chanting of the mantra on various chakras. Absolutely no problem. Because I was reading, there's a question just right underneath. I thought I should just get to the question. Even when sometimes people email me, I don't actually have time to read the whole email. My eyes automatically scan for where there's a question mark. I go there, and then based on that question, if I feel I need to have more information, then I'll go and read few sentences up and few sentences down. Then I know what they're asking for. So, in fact, I once read somewhere, and it was a beautiful thing. No reflection on the questions or this particular question. When you contact somebody who's very busy, if you are not being very precise, you are doing great injustice to the person you are contacting. It's a mortal sin. If you cannot say in 5 sentences what you want to say, you should not be writing an email. And those 5 sentences are, first, this was taken from this guy, his name was Guy Kawasaki. And who are you? In 1 sentence, introduce who you are. Second sentence, introduce what do you want. Third sentence, introduce, tell the person why do you want it from them. Fourth sentence, why should they actually give it to you? Fifth, what is the next step? If you don't know what you want to say in one sentence, you're not clear about it. If you want to pour your heart out, go write on any forum online. Don't send an email. Because you don't have the right to infringe upon anybody's time like this. And then to feel bad if they don't respond or expect. Only what they go through, only the admin team knows. The kind of emails they have to go through on a daily basis. And then people sometimes shouting back. Not shouting back, shouting at them. Saying you're not responding and why this is my right. And people writing just absolutely pathetic stuff. And then being pedantic about it. I don't know where they learn these etiquettes from. The basic email etiquette is be clear about what you want to say and say it in as few words as possible if you want a response. And the same person from whom I first read about this 5-sentence rule said the only exception to this rule is if you're praising somebody, feel free to say write as much as you like. And he was serious about it. A man was performing the Shraddh ceremony at his house. He was feeding many people. Just then a butcher passed leading a cow to slaughter. He could not control the animal and became exhausted. He said to himself, let me go into that house and enjoy the feast of the Shraddh ceremony and strengthen the body. Then I shall be able to drag the cow along. So he carried out his intention. But when he killed the cow, the sin of the slaughter fell also on the performer of the Shraddh. That is why I say the path of devotion is better than the path of action. This is taken from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Why the sin of slaughter also fell on the performer of the Shraddh, the person who performed the Shraddh. असत कृतम वाज्ञातम तत् तामसम मुच्यते, भगवान ने बोला है। वो दान जिसका आपको पता नहीं कहां जा रहा है, उसका क्या उपयोग हो रहा है, वो दान जो पात्र को ना दिया जाए, वो दान तामसिक दान है। परंतु मैं ऐसा नहीं मानता कि जिसने श्राद्ध कर्म किया उसको कोई पाप लगा। एक तरफ तुम बोलते हैं ना जाने किस रूप में आ जाए नारायण बन भगवान रे। अब कोई आया है तो उसको बोले आपको नहीं खिलाएंगे जी, जाओ। आई डोंट बिलीव दैट। जब महापुरुष कुछ बात करते हैं, जैसे रामकृष्ण परमहंस हुए, तो उस चीज का, उस समय का, उस काल का, उस बात का कोई कॉन्टेक्स्ट होता है। ना जाने किसी को वो क्या समझा रहे थे उस समय, जिसके चलते उन्होंने ये बात बोली। और जिन्होंने लिखा, उन्होंने बस वो लिखा जो उन्होंने बोला। उस समय की सेटिंग क्या थी, उस कक्ष में कौन लोग बैठे थे, उससे पहले क्या बात हुई, वो नहीं लिखा। तो इसीलिए एक बार किसी ने हमसे पूछा पिछले अक्टूबर इवेंट में कि स्वामी जी, व्हाट इज योर व्हिच वन इज योर फेवरेट बुक? I told him my favorite book is Bhagavad Gita. And he said top 5 books. I said second most favorite book is Bhagavad Gita. Third is Bhagavad Gita. Because Bhagavad Gita is one of those books or scriptures or texts, if you will. If you reflect on it, take it one verse at a time, let it sink, read another time, let it sink, read another time. You will not need to ask anybody any questions about how you ought to lead your life. That's how deep that text is. It has practically no preaching in it, just a simple statement of opinion. And you know, when we read about accounts, second-hand accounts, it's not always the same thing as reading a first-hand account.
Om Bhur Swaha तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।